I know it might sound ignorant, or I'm trying to belittle you. I am belittling you. You don't need to be doing this job if you can't correctly follow the simple procedures like jacking up a car. Alright, the light flashing, that means we good. It's Leekautorepair. Y'all subscribe. Y'all do whatever is necessary, since everybody always, mind you, I had a Corona nice size, so I'm probably feeling myself right now. But those who be complaining about me cussing, y'all just gonna have to complain, write a letter to Jesus and wait for him to weep or whatever it is he do that sheds tears. Whatever, y'all know. Anybody else, y'all hit the like button, all that, leave a comment, cool, whatever. Alright, so working on a 2013 Ford Focus hatchback. For you, it could be a 4-door. For you, it could be an 8-door, 15-door Focus. I don't know what Focus you got, but this one is a hatchback. Got the, if I'm reading from this label right here, is a 2.0, just regular 2-point engine. I know some of you guys, y'all Jones be hot too. Those, what is it, the ST John? Somebody correct me in the comments. You know, the turbo Focuses. Oh, I like them Jones. Them Jones low key hard though. Low key. That don't mean I'm gonna get one. But this one, just getting a basic oil change. Oil I'm gonna be using is just the Castro GTX. At the time, I guess whatever AutoZone special got going on, that's what I be getting, because you know DIY prices is cheaper than what I can get it for on my account. SDP oil filter 3614. I'll leave all of that good stuff, part numbers and oil type in the description, whatever. So what you're gonna be needing to do oil change is pretty much simple. You're gonna need an oil catch can, of course, something to catch the oil. If you're gonna be ratchet, ghetto, whatever, if you just don't care, just let it leak all in the street. I'm not telling you to do it, but there's people out there that really don't give a shit. I'll just go ahead and just be honest about it. It's up to you. Me, I got a catch can. This is a cement tub, kind of crack on one end, but I won't use it anyway. But I like to use a cement tub. Just I can catch oil that's leaking in all types of different directions from under the car. I ain't gotta worry about a massive oil leak. Another thing, make sure you got paper towels. I ran out of paper towels, so I'm gonna have to salvage one, if that's the right word. It is what it is. I gotta go get me a couple rolls from the parts store. 15 millimeter socket is for the oil drain plug. I'll show you all in a second when we get into the car. I'm using a ratchet, long ratchet, and you need your typical oil filter wrench, or unless you got muscles, you probably don't even need a wrench. It is what it is, depending on how the last mechanic put it on. But I'm gonna crawl on the creeper, and we're gonna get started. So let me place the camera down. All right, so assuming you can see good, I'm trying to put the light where it's, you know, best for you and everything. So this is the oil drain plug underneath the engine. Make sure you can identify the difference between the transmission, which is what I'm kind of pointing, you can't see, but in the split middle, go over more. This side, if you're on the driver's side, this is the engine. So it's 15 millimeter for the drain plug. So I don't know if you're gonna be using a regular wrench, opening wrench, whatever. I don't care what you use. That's you strip it, that's your fault. That's not my fault. You should have paid attention to the goddamn directions I gave. Cool. So you see me how I'm setting this up? You want to put it in an off position. I shouldn't even have to tell you to put it in an off position. You should already know that, because you got the car jacked up already. And another thing, if I gotta tell you how to jack this car up, set it up, just to do the oil change, this video ain't for you. How you going, if you can't make it past jacking the car up, how you gonna make it past getting the oil in the drain pan correctly? I'm just saying. I know it might sound ignorant, or I'm trying to belittle you. I am belittling you. You don't need to be doing this job if you can't correctly follow the simple procedures like jacking up a car. Cool. All right, so I want to crack this free. It's going to righty tighty, lefty loosey. If you're mechanically inclined, this excludes you. So I'm going to go ahead and let me get my oil drain plan. This is kind of cracked, so it leaks at one end. So I kind of got to tip it up by putting some type of whatever underneath it to level it up, and that way to keep it in there. But I already got the oil drain plug crack free. I know y'all can't see, but I'm gonna move y'all closer because the tub got in the way. So here we go. So you don't have to keep ratcheting at me once it breaks free and I can move it by fingers. Then, you know, common sense, right? So when I get to my last thread, like the last point where I can feel like it's wobbly, I can move it out the way. I know this engine oil is hot. For you, it might be cold. It better be hot. You better not be draining no oil on a cold engine, because you're just stupid. Unless you're at the dealership and you don't care. That's a different story. So I'm gonna hold it because I know pressure is gonna shoot straight up. My gloves gonna get wet. I don't feel like for all of that, so all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold it just like that, and I just hurry up real fast, just move it out the way, just like that. See how my fingers and nothing got all dirty and no oil. Cool. I set the drain plug, on the ground right there. Make sure you got your washer on the drain plug too. It's like a little washer, not a washer, but like a gasket. Most of them come with like washers though. Make sure you put a new one on. If this is you like me, you got a Ford. This is one is reusable. 2, I don't have any. If you notice, you have to do oil change. You check like a week later. You do a little oil underneath the drain plug. It's probably just the gasket on the drain plug. So whatever it is you need to do, you just get a new drain plug. That's up to you. Whatever. So let it drain out. It's good that the engine is at this temperature. It's pretty much fully warmed up. It's like 80-degree weather in Philly, and see how fast it's pissing out. Just makes the process even better. If you drain oil on a cold engine, it's just like waiting for sludge to come out. This is all I got to say about that. So just let it drain, and you're gonna wait till it get like a nice little. I wouldn't say let it drip, and just let it stream out real slow, and I'll let you know. You see how the pan is emptying out. And the stream for it is getting slimmer and slimmer and slimmer and slimmer and slimmer. So I'll probably let it pour out just a little bit more. Some people don't like to wait. I like to let it piss out. Just not pee out, of course, but like let it leak out just a little bit. That way, well, you ain't not gonna never really get all of the oil out of the engine anyway, unless you tear it apart and clean it out. It's just oil, it's everywhere inside of the engine. So it's not impossible to get it out. Just doing a simple oil change does not completely drain all the oil in the engine. All you're doing is siphoning it out for some fresh oil and just a recycle process. That's all it is at the end of the day. So when you get a steady drip just like this, you're ready to put the oil drain plug back on. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Make sure that's cool. So go ahead and thread it on. And for this process, I like to leave it on like finger tight, hand tight, and I'll just torque it down with the ratchet in a second. So the next part I'm going to be worrying about if I can get it to magnetize or whatever. This oil filter right here, you could use oil filter wrench. I don't know, if you're strong like me, you might could get it off. If you're not a little pansy, you just I don't know, just get a wrench. We'll figure it out. But for me, I'm gonna try to twist it off. See, I use 2 hands. Use one, whatever how you do it. That's just up to you. You might need an oil filter wrench. Me, I didn't need an oil filter wrench. That's good. You can let it twist off. This is normal for it to kind of come out like this. That's because the oil filter is over flooded with oil as is. When you break it free and create space in between the housing and the filter itself, it will gush out. So that's normal. Don't be freaking out or whatever. So your gloves gonna get wet, your hands gonna get wet with oil at this point, and just quickly aiming down to your catch can without having too much splashes. So I guess at this part, I need I had a paper towel. I kind of don't know what I did with it. Might have to find another one, but wipe your hands off. You don't want your hands all dirty and everything. We're trying to find here we go right here. You don't want to create a mess underneath. A good time to get you a can of brake cleaner or parts cleaner. Shit, you can even use throttle body cleaner if you want. As long as it's alcohol based, it's up to you. Shit, you could probably use starter fluid. Just as long as it's alcohol based, whatever, it'll dissolve fast. But you can clean up all your oil stuff or whatever. See, you be good. If I want to get the oil filter, I don't know why I didn't get that in the beginning. So once again, the part number is a regular STP. I guess the one that claimed to be designed to 5,000 miles. I don't know why they want people to drive 5,000 miles on oil like this. It makes sense, but fresh oil is always better than dirty oil. Whatever, to each his own. So S3614 is the filter number, and I'm gonna, if you guys can see, I'll pretty much took some, some of the oil and lube up the gasket on the filter, because that way, so the next mechanic, which is me, is able to take off the oil filter by hand rather than using an extra tool or something like that, or some type of oil filter wrench or whatever. See, I was able to crack it free. That's because the last mechanic, which was me, lubed it up. So that's cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it. I like to do it hand tight. Do not use an oil filter wrench or whatever. You always put it on hand tight. Use an oil filter. Sometimes you might have to, but this case, well, it's not best to, because you can kind of score the can up, crush it, or potentially crack a hole in it. And these cans is kind of delicate a little bit when using something to tighten it. You just got to be careful. So I do it by hand tight till it don't turn no more, and then I give it a quick snug. That's it, and that's all she wrote. So being as though got that tight, and I'm gonna move this oil catch can out of the way, and then I'm gonna take my ratchet, oil filter tight. I'm gonna take the ratchet, and I'm gonna make sure the camera's right. So I'm gonna tighten up the oil drain plug. I didn't make a mess. I handled everything correctly. If you're making a mess, everybody makes a mess. Just be sure to clean it up. Don't be that guy leaving everything messy underneath here. So as soon as the oil filter, some people like to over tighten it. Me, I don't like to over tighten it. Sometimes you may have to over tighten it because 15,000 retards before you kept on just improperly tightening it, and just maybe stretch the threads, just in the oil pan, just mess the threads up on the plug and stuff. Just whatever you got to do, just make sure it tighten and don't leak. So this one is fair condition to me. So once it stopped, just give it like a 1/4 inch turn, like that, bam. And you don't want to go overkill. It's up to you. If you want to keep on tightening it, then you're just gonna be that guy replacing an oil pan after a while. That's just you. You can do whatever it is you want. That's your car. I don't care. So make sure the oil filter is clean. Make sure nothing is on it, and like I said, I already hand tightened. I make sure that was cool. So good. Oil plug is good. I'm gonna make my way onto the top of the car. Now you may notice a difference. This car don't have under guard, like a splash engine shield at the bottom. Normally these cars come with one, but this car didn't come with one, so I don't have to worry about it. If you got that problem, of course you probably got multiple torque screws all around, or 8mm or 7mm. I don't know the bolt size. Just make sure you smart and savvy enough to get the whole shield off. If you don't do that, then you probably won't be able to do your oil change. So that's another step you need to worry about. So I'm gonna make my way to the top of the car. I'm gonna fill it up in this process. Next, get your oil filter. I don't know why I said oil filter, but your oil cap that's on top of your valve cover. Twist it off to the left. Me, I like to take those off at the beginning of the job. Just a reminder is I didn't fill up the crankcase. You might be that bull. You don't need to. Me, I like a reminder. So I guess for this part, I want to find me a pansy ass funnel, because the red one I just used got like dirt in it, and we gonna eat on shop towels up in here and cleaning, solving stuff. It is what it is. So we just gonna use that little guy right there. Got that from Harbor Freight. We gonna make it do. You feel me? So opening up the oil, it got like some foil shit on it. Make sure you bend it out the way, or completely move it out the way, and make sure it do not fall inside of the oil, or that's your ass. It will, hopefully a funnel will catch it. This car, I believe, may take like 4 quarts and a half. Could take 4 quarts. I don't know. This thing is 5 quarts, so what I'm going to do is start with 4 and 4 and a half, and then I'm going to check it from there. If I got to take some out, then I guess I'm just going to be taking some out. It is what it is. So be careful. Make sure you got your anti-spill stuff, to help work with you and everything. You good, so you won't make a mess pretty much. So I'm going to pour it slow. Sometimes you got to hold the funnel, because a sloppy funnel will create an oil spill. Sometimes you might got to lift up on the funnel because the oil builds up at the top, meaning there ain't nothing that's releasing it at the bottom, because you got so much flowing in, it creates a restriction at the bottom eventually. This maybe being held up against some type of shield or the cam lobes or something, whatever it is, it ain't free flow on the other end. So just pull up on the funnel and you be cool. So I'm gonna pour this in, and I poured it in gradually because I got a smaller funnel. A bigger funnel, you can have been prior and pour this in already. So like I said, I'm pouring in 4.5, and then I'm gonna check. You can check the engine level with the engine off, and I would rather, since you put fresh oil in it, I would just cycle it through and just check it. Other words, you can let it gravity feed to the bottom of the pan minutes later, and then go ahead and check, and you'll get a true engine level. So that is true. You don't have to check the engine oil level by, keep turning the engine. You don't have to start it up. You can just check it after, just let it sit after a while and then check it. You get a true level. So I'm gonna pour some more in it, and then I guess this look like this might be half for me. So normally I put a towel over the funnel and start the engine, but look like I'm resting on some type of cam holder or whatever it is. I ain't got time for all of that extra shit. So I'm gonna put the cap on, and then I'm gonna start the car. I'm gonna let it run for a second. I'm gonna check for leaks, make sure I ain't got no leaks underneath either. I'm gonna put this on the ground. Yeah, make sure your car is level too when you're checking your oil level. Me, I'm on ramps. The engine ain't really, the front end ain't leaning too much back where it's gonna throw it off, because the engine still looks straight to me. So I'm cool. So I'm gonna take the shop rack and wanna whip out this dipstick, this yellow thing right here. Pull out with your fingers, and when you pull it out initially, you're gonna wipe it off. Do not check it when you pull it out immediately. Check it after you pulled it out, wiped it off, then put it back in. You get a good reading that way. Let it sit for like 1-2 seconds. Pull it out, and make sure you're using 2 hands too. So I guess the goal, if you can see, make sure we can see. Hold on. The goal. Hold on, let me zoom in more. All right. The goal, see, you got one dot right here and another dot right here. This indicates low, this indicates high. We want to be in the center of it, so it looks like I need to put maybe in, I should just pour in the rest of it. And long as I'm within the 2 dots and I'm in the middle, or I could be at the top dot, I'm cool. Not all the time do you need to be at the top cross hatching or the top dot or whatever, or overfilled. Nah, long as it's within the lowest reading and the highest reading. It's supposed to be in that range. You're good. So don't worry about, oh my God, I needed extra quart. As long as it's in the middle, you're straight. I'm going to pour the rest in. I've done 1 billion, 1,000, trillion oil changes and stuff, so you should be good. And I ain't gonna check maybe I'll check the oil level again, but I mean, this pretty much concludes this video. Ain't no need for me to keep on running off at my mouth. I'm pretty sure you can handle, the job from here, right? I hope you can. I hope you're smart enough to get the car off the jacks or whatever it is you couldn't figure out the first time to get it up in the air. Like I said, you can't jack the car up. I don't see you making it through, this part of the job where you get to pour the oil in it and it concludes the job. I don't see you doing that. I see you just giving up and just going straight to like a oil change shop and getting it done, which is the smartest thing to do, because you don't got to worry about messing up shit. I'm just saying. Let me start the car again. Let me check the level. We're going to run it. Now, I could have let this drain at the bottom of the pan, but I'm in a rush. Of course, we got to talk about resetting the tire light. I'll let y'all know that in a second. So, I already done an oil change maybe like 3-4 times in this car already. So, I'm just going over this with you. I didn't have to, but this is pretty much extra content for me to post on my channel. Got to keep the revenue up, right? I guess, right? Work is work. So, if we can whip it out, looks like you probably can't see it. Let me wipe it off one more time so you can get a better reading of it. So, actually there is cross action. I failed to flip it around. But if we can see right here, I'm close to the highest point of the cross hatch. So that half a quart pretty much did the job for me. So pretty much I use all 5 quarts to do the job. You may need a little bit less. You I don't know your circumstances and how much oil came out when you initially drained the oil, so you never know. All right, so I guess after watching the procedure, I figured out we're gonna quickly do this so I can quickly end this video. So I guess what you want to do is push the button and to the lights in the dash come on. So that's one push, and then hold the brake and then hold the gas pedal down at the same time, hard as you can. That's up to you, but if you pay attention in the screen, there should be a message pop up for the service oil reset in progress, and that's that right there. So you're gonna hold down maybe for like another 20 seconds, or at least until the message goes away. It will say complete afterwards, so just keep on holding on, and you should be Gucci. And here we go. It says oil reset complete, so that's that. So that's all I got.